So yeah, it's a pretty cool little app. I like it. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm not going to be on here a whole lot longer because I'm running out of crap to say. And that one troll that came in here talking about I'm live for hours. Who cares? There's some times where I don't go live for a couple of months. And yeah, sometimes when I do go live, I'll go live for a long time. Because some of the people that like watching me are like, oh my God, where you been? We ain't seen you forever, blah, 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 blah. So I got to catch them up with everything that's gone on with me since I was last live. Yeah, but some people don't. Like I said, whenever I eat on my live, the people that have been watching me for a long time, they're not bothered by it. Because sometimes I'll work 70, 80 hours a week or even more. I'm in and out, in and out, in and out. They like to keep up what's going on with my life sometimes. And they'll be like, are you on live tonight? And I'm like, no, I'm tired. I just got off work. I haven't eaten all day. I've got to eat. Well, you can eat and go live at the same time. So I'm like, okay. So yes, sometimes that's why I eat while I'm live. But whenever like I said, whenever I am on camera and I'm eating, of course I'll take a bite. But if I'm answering people, usually and they know, I'll cover up my mouth like that and I'll talk like this. Or I'll just wait until I swallow my food to answer them. But if it's like a really good comment or something that I don't want to forget, then yeah, that's when I go like that and I hurry up and answer them. And some of my followers like to see me eat because I think sometimes they know that I'm pretty truthful. I don't lie about nothing, like I said, unless I'm dealing with a troll in here. Then you never know what I'm going to say. Because they want to come in here and troll, I'll troll right back. But they knew that just 2 years ago, I was homeless living in my car. A lot of times I didn't eat. So sometimes still, even though I'm stable, I have an apartment, I got all new furniture, then got me a new car, got me a great job that I love. Sometimes they'll still sit there and be like, did you eat today? And I'm like, yeah, I ate. No, did you eat? So sometimes, yes, I will also eat on my live just so the hell they know, yes, I ate. Well, I was busy working all day today, Heather. So when I first got home, I had a veggie tray still left from Christmas that I don't want it to go bad in the fridge. So I munched on some carrots and some broccoli. And then I've got food to cook, like cook, but it's too late. I don't want to make a full big old meal at no 1 o'clock in the morning. So I remembered I was in there in my kitchen doing my dishes, looking around because my stomach was growling. And I almost thought about pulling out all of my pots and pans and say, forget it. I'm going to go ahead and make me some spaghetti. But I didn't want to make no big meal. So then I remembered when I was putting my dishes away from my dishwasher, I had some ramen noodles up underneath the counter. I was like, ooh, I could make me a quick bowl of ramen noodles. But since I don't eat ramen noodles very often, and they were underneath my counter and I forgot about them, I couldn't find no expiration date on them. So I was asking people on my live that eat ramen noodles regularly if they go bad. Because that package didn't have no expiration date on it. I looked everywhere. I even opened the main pack and looked at the little individual pack. It had no date on it. And some of the people on my live said, no, they think that they'd be all right. And then I was like, well, I'll do like my grandma always taught me. I'll make them and then I'll sniff them. Y'all know how old folks are. They used to say, oh, it ain't bad, just sniff it. If it still smells good, then it's good. I'm like, okay. That's what my granny used to say. And I can't help it. Maybe it's my OCD. Maybe I'm picky. I don't know. My grandma used to take hamburger out of the fridge to either make a meatloaf or spaghetti or something. The outside of the hamburger would be brown, but when she would break it apart, it was still red in the middle. And I'd be like, I'm not eating that, Granny. Because that's what I call her, my granny. She'd be like, it's still good. She said, it's just brown on the outside. She said, you sniff it, and it's still red in the middle. It's good. You going to eat it? I was like, no, the hell I ain't either. I'll starve tonight. Because that's how it was back in my day, too. You either eat what was made or you don't eat at all. Except for my granny. She would let me make a peanut butter sandwich if I wanted to. But she wouldn't let you cook nothing. You either ate what she cooked or you didn't eat nothing. And I've heard more people than her say that it's okay if it's a little bit brown on the outside, the hamburger, but as long as it's red in the middle, it's still good. And if it smells good, I can't eat it. If it's not red, the whole entire thing is not red, I can't eat it. Just like my bananas. I don't like my bananas green, of course, but I like them that almost perfect yellow. My granny, that's how she would eat her bananas, is like a perfect yellow. But if she was going to make homemade banana bread or banana pudding, she would wait until the skin on the outside of her bananas was black in some spots. And then when you open the banana, you'd see the brown spots on the banana. I'd be like, I ain't eating that shit. She's like, these are the best bananas for banana pudding and banana bread. You want them like this. I was like, no, I'm not eating them. Well, I need a lot of sodium RN because I'm on the keto diet. I lost 60 pounds, and ever since I started my new job, I'm getting used to my schedule, working a lot of hours. I kind of got off of it a little bit. I need to get back on it. But there's certain vitamins I keep in my cabinet that you have to take when you're on the keto diet to make sure you're still getting all your vitamins and everything. That's why I had all those big old containers of collagen up in my cabinet. They were for my protein shakes that I used to make. But I've kind of gotten off of it since I started my new job, and I've gained like 15 pounds back. So I need to get back on it. And then some people, they're like, what's the keto diet? It's not that much different. I mean, a little bit, but it's not that much different than the carnivore diet. A lot of eggs, a lot of meat. Well, I mean, it sucks that it's because of an illness, but that's great that you've lost so much. And then I don't know if it's true or not, but my doctor also told me to be careful being on my diet. Not that the keto diet is bad for you, but she said once I get all of these tumors removed in my stomach's going to get really flat. It's going to go down. So she told me not to lose too much weight before my surgery. So I'll wait until I heal up after my surgery and see how much my stomach goes down. Then I'll decide if I want to continue the keto diet or not. But see, Grammy, that's where I've heard from different women. I've heard some women say that, well, I'm getting 2 surgeries at the same time, 2 different surgeries. They're just going to do them both the same day. But one of them is a full hysterectomy. I've had some women tell me that they gained weight after their hysterectomy. Yeah, see, I know you said yours is from illness RN, but I never wanted to look like that. Like, as long as I'm a healthy person. I wanted to lose all of that weight because I got pretty big, but I never wanted to be like a stick. I just wanted to be like a healthy, good, normal weight. I know some women, and I'm not talking about women like you that are sick. I'm talking about just women that have no issues. I know some women like to lose weight to look like a stick, but not me. I've never wanted to be that little. Because you think of how much weight I'm going to lose. Now, aside from the hysterectomy, she said like 90% of my stomach is full of tumors. She said that 4 of them are the size of babies' heads. So I'm like, okay, just with those 4, I'm wondering how much weight I'll lose. But when she says babies' heads, that could be anything. Because some babies are born at 5 or 6 pounds, and some babies are 8, 9, or 10 pounds. Since I'm not a nurse, yeah, on my chart, I have the dimensions of how big the biggest 4 are. But I don't know how big that is. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a nurse. I think Grammy just started watching what you eat. Didn't you just start eating better, Grammy? Or Gummy, I mean. I always call you Grammy whenever I do see your name once in a while. Didn't you just start watching what you eat and you ate better? Or maybe I have somebody else that comes in here sometimes named Grammy. Heck, I don't know. When I don't wear my glasses, everybody's names is kind of blurry a little bit. And then, after my surgery, I'm going to quit vaping. I quit cigarettes about 10 years ago or longer, and I went to vaping. That's how I got off of cigarettes. But I did get off of the nicotine vape. Now all it is just mostly flavor. I do it also whenever I want like something sweet, because the vapors that I vape on is like candy. So I haven't been on the nicotine for a long time. I get the zero nicotine vapors. I did stop vaping about a week or a week and a half ago, and I did pretty good with it. But I know me, I already know me. I'm going to have my surgery. I'm going to sit around this house and not be able to do nothing for almost 6 weeks. And I know that I'm going to want to vape. So, sorry y'all, I got a hangnail. So yeah, after my surgery and I heal up, that'll be my next goal, is I'm going to quit vaping. Yeah, RN, I quit doing the nicotine like about 3 or 3.5 years ago. And that's also what helped me to lose my weight when I started the keto diet, was because I don't eat sweets a whole lot. I'm not a big sweet eater, but once in a while when I do get a craving for sweets, it ain't nothing for me to go eat 3 full boxes of Little Debbie's at one time. So when I wanted something sweet, I would just puff on my vapor. You're wrong, because I started off at 190 and I got down to 140, and I just weighed myself the other day and I'm like at 152 now. That's why I said I gained about 15 pounds back. But again, like I said, I don't want to lose too much weight, because whenever I get all of these tumors taken out of my stomach, my doctor said my stomach will be kind of flat. So I'm waiting until after my surgery to see how much I lose. I love trolls that come in here. Hang on. Oh, excuse me. I just weighed myself, 154. So I've gained another 2 pounds back. But that's also because my stomach has been swelled up. So what do you want to talk about now? Ride the rod. Since you back in here trolling. You want to talk about my tumors? You want to talk about my surgery and get real gory and nasty and everything about my medical stuff that's going on? Hello, Tater. I live in South Dakota. Oh, RN, I saw your comment. I like the peach. The peach vapors. Yeah, this is the boneless set I got off of the TikTok shop. I was kind of skeptical to get it because I've never had boneless before. And then another girl that follows me, she bought a set too. Now see, I had some of the people that follow me ask me, they didn't care that it wasn't fancy. People were asking me, that don't have a lot of money, but want something that holds up. So they were asking me after I'd had it for a while, how does it still hold up? How does it feel? But I told them I couldn't give them a real review on it because it's just me. I don't bounce around on my furniture. I don't spill anything on it because all of my food mostly stays in the kitchen. Water, I only have water here. So another girl that watches me, hang on, TikTok's making me verify myself again. Another girl that watches me, she bought the couch. She's got a few kids. She said after all the time that she's had it, they jump on it, they bounce around on it. I don't know if they've spilt anything on it or not. But she said, yeah, it's still holding its shape. It's still comfortable. I don't know who JK is. Oh, okay, I see JK now. JK, you're in the wrong live for that. I'm not a big creator. I just get on here and just chat with people sometimes. Mess around with trolls whenever I get bored. Yeah, I'm still immature sometimes. I'm a little petty. If I'm really bored, I'll feed into a troll. But most of the time, I mostly just talk about my medical condition because it's a woman's medical condition. And I've educated some women on it to know the signs, to always get checked and everything before it's too late. I'm not a big creator, so no, I couldn't get a bunch of people to follow you. Hey, toilet water. Do you have a strong stomach? And I'm just asking you a question. I'm not trying to troll you here. Do you have a strong stomach? Like, can you tolerate really nasty stuff? Or are you kind of queasy over stuff? I mean, you're talking in here, so I'm just asking you a simple question. Are you kind of queasy or do you have a really strong stomach? Hey, Pancake. Now, see, toilet water, that's why I don't feed into you trolls, because I'm asking you a genuine question. You want to come in here and talk? I'm just asking you a simple question. I really want to know, like scary movies, gory stuff. Do you have a weak stomach or do you have a pretty strong stomach? Yeah, see, you won't answer, so I'm assuming you have a weak stomach. Well, because since you want to say that I'm lying about my medical stuff, I could show you something, but I need to make sure it's not going to make you throw up. That you're not a weak person, that you're not queasy. Y'all, I'm going to show something here real quick. If any of you all have a queasy stomach, I'll tell you when. Just close your eyes. For one, this is my medication I take that is supposed to stop me from hemorrhaging. Oh, let's see. But if I get too busy working and I work a lot of overtime and I forget to go get my medication, let's see here. Now, this is what happens when I start hemorrhaging and I have to go to the hospital to get transfusions. So, I'm getting ready to tell you all that have weak stomachs, turn your head away. This is one time, go into the bathroom. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I'm lying, right? That's my toilet, my bathroom. If I walk into my bathroom right now, you can see the floor. And let's see what else we got here. Oh, wait. Let me see what this is right here. And see, no, I'm not showing this to toilet water to, some of y'all are going to say you don't have to prove nothing to anybody. No, I just don't have no problem showing this because it educates women on stuff like this. Oh, good. My doctor did my update on my health summary. I've been waiting on my test results for my biopsy. Results. Let's see. When I had to go in and get my transfusion, RN, if you're really a nurse, here's this here. My lowest of my hemoglobin was a 2.5. My red blood count, 3.25. Like I said, I'm not a nurse. I don't know what that is. Let me go to the size of my tumors in my stomach. I don't know which that would be under. Medications, questionnaires, health summary, reports, current conditions. Abnormal uterine bleeding. I have the factor 5 also. Fibroid uterus. I can't say that word. Let's see, what else do we have here? Reports. That's December 23rd. CHPI. I don't know what that is because I'm not a doctor. Due to continued abnormal hemorrhaging and bleeding with very low estrogen therapy, we have decided to put the patient into a... Let me get my glasses on. We have decided to put the patient into a medically induced menopause until surgery. EMB collected. That was my cancer biopsies I had to do. Without difficulty, patient did very well on that. Now let's talk about my surgery. Oh, here it is, RN. If you're a real nurse, it says here, 4 of my tumors that are the largest, she says, the dimensions are 6.2 centimeters, 4.7, 7.8, and another 4.7. It says here, your surgery has been scheduled for February the 18th. A hospital nurse will contact you with instructions 24 hours prior to your surgery. Nothing to eat or drink after midnight. Wear loose clothing, comfortable clothing. So, yeah. Boy, I'm really lying, ain't I? Oh, and toilet water. If you want to know what the Lupron Depot shot is for, why don't you look that up? That's how you put a woman into a medically induced menopause, because they cannot get her to stop bleeding to death. And yes, I do talk about my condition on live because I never heard of this before. But when I found out I had it, my doctor said it's very common in women. I'm like, okay. So I've asked other females that I know. Other females that I know have also said they've never heard of this before. So yes, I like to educate women on signs of when they need to get checked out. Y'all can see that I'm not paying attention to them. Because you know what? Trolls like toilet water. Someday, whether it's a child of his or hers, or their parent, or their husband or wife, or themselves, something really bad is going to happen to them. And then whenever they need help, people are going to be like, you're on your own. So, yeah. I don't worry about people like that. Ah. Yeah, RN, that's why I said I'm not a nurse. I'm sure I could look up the dimensions, but she said those are the 4 biggest ones I have. She said in all the time that she's been an OBGYN, she has not seen any get that big as far as fibroid tumors. But yet, all I do is I lie, and I'm lazy. I have a medical condition like that. I'm always in pain. But funny, I still got 2 jobs and work 7 days a week. So yeah, I'm lazy. I will too, Penny. I can't wait for my surgery. I'm excited about it. Yeah. Pancake, don't pay no attention to the trolls. You can see I don't pay no attention to them in here. I just like it whenever trolls come in and say that I'm lying about having a medical condition and that I'm getting ready to get surgery in February. I like to prove them wrong. Better yet, they better come back after my surgery, and then whenever I raise up my shirt, they can see all the scars on my stomach. Not the scars, but the stitches. I don't know what they do on a hysterectomy nowadays. Do they still even do stitches? I never even asked my doctor. I wonder if they do regular stitches or if they staple. Tina, because I didn't have the money before. I had to save up the money to be able to get my surgery done. And I probably still don't have enough because I haven't been at my new job for very long. But I'm going to go ahead and get it done anyway because it needs to be done. Like my doctor said, I've had too many blood transfusions. I've already almost bled out twice before I got to the hospital. I can't wait anymore. I've got to get it done whether I've got the money or not. I'll figure out my money situation. Am I supposed to work after my surgery? No. Now, I'm not going to work at my regular job, but I'm going to give myself about a week to heal up. I'm just going to lay around for about a week, and then I'm going to go out and start door dashing. Well, when you don't have the money, Tina, you can't get it done. My doctor wanted me to get the surgery 3 years ago. But guess what? I was homeless living in my car 3 years ago. You think that I'm going to be able to heal up from a major surgery, cramped up living in my car? No. I told her I needed time to find me a better job, to get on my feet, to get a place to live, to have a plan for someone to help me watch my dog. Because now she said my surgery, if I feel good, I can leave the same day and still come home to my dog. But because of how large my tumors are, she said in case something goes wrong, I could bleed out. She's even told me because of my case, she let me know the other day when I was in her office that if something goes wrong, I might not make it. I've had to make plans for my dog, for someone to take my dog in case something happens to me. Pancake Tina didn't call me a liar. She just said that I should have already have had my surgery done. Oh, yes, I will, Tina. I'll go out and I'll do DoorDash. When you have bills to pay, you get up off your ass and you go to work. I worked all day today and I was in pain. Had sharp pains throughout my stomach the whole day. Couldn't hardly stand up. But I got bills to pay. My doctor told me there is no time frame on when I can start driving. All you do with DoorDash is just go pick up restaurant food. Drop it off to people's house. Yes, I will be working. I tell you what, and I know some of you all don't believe in God, but I'm a very, excuse my language, I'm a very fucking strong woman. God made a strong woman right here. The first time when I got this condition and I walked into the hospital, when they checked my hemoglobin, the doctors were shocked. They said that I should have been dead. That they do not see how I drove myself to the hospital. They said I should have been dead or on the verge or on my deathbed, whatever. They said I should not have been coherent. I was walking around like I was normal. I just went to the hospital because I had really bad stomach pains. I felt like somebody was stabbing me in the stomach. I didn't know what was wrong. So they ran tests on me. I kept telling them, I pointed to my stomach. I said, it feels like somebody's stabbing me right here. And they were like, well, what did you do today? Like normal questions. Did you lift anything heavy? And blah, 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 blah. I said, well, yeah, I lift heavy stuff. And this was back home where I'm from. I told them that I was a machine operator and I make axles for semi-trucks. I had just left work before I went to the emergency room. I said, so yeah, I lift up axles all day long. So then they asked me that. And I guess they took blood, and while they were still asking me questions, 2 other people came into the room and said, your hemoglobin's a 2.5. You need to go upstairs and get blood right now. I was like, okay. Since I'm not a doctor, I still wasn't like coherent. I wasn't understanding what they were saying. I was like, okay. I was like, my hemoglobin's a 2.5. Now, mind you, that's because I feel perfectly fine except for some bad pains in my stomach. So finally, after they got me upstairs and got blood into me, I had like 3 or 4 more doctors come into the room. They were like, is this the girl that drove herself to the hospital with a 2.5 hemoglobin? I'm still listening like, and? Why are y'all making a big deal about it? Because I felt fine. And then they were like, ma'am, you don't understand. I was like, apparently I don't, because I'm not a doctor. That's what y'all went to school for. They were acting like I wasn't taking my life serious. It wasn't that I wasn't taking my life serious. I didn't understand because, again, I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to school to be a doctor. All I was going by was that I felt fine. So then, within the 4 days that I was in the hospital, more people kept coming in, running tests on me and everything. Is this the girl? Is this the girl? I even had people from the baby unit, whatever y'all call it, the baby unit come down that had to meet the girl that drove herself to the hospital. So finally I got pissed off at them. I got mad. I said, well, because I still didn't know at that point what was wrong. I said, well, why don't y'all find out what the fuck is wrong with me instead of coming in here and having to meet the girl that drove herself to the hospital? They were pissing me off. I said, y'all want to meet the girl that drove herself to the hospital, y'all can come and ask me questions after you find out what's wrong with me. So then they were confusing me. This is whenever I was in South Carolina. So then another set of doctors came in the next morning and was like, okay, we know what's wrong with you. We just don't know why we can't get you to stop bleeding. I was like, well, what's wrong? They said, well, you got fibroid tumors, and then you also have other tumors in your stomach that are very large. I was like, okay. So then they wanted to run a cancer test. They did cancer test on me. I waited. This was after I got out of the hospital. It come back negative. No cancer. So, but while I was still in the hospital that time, this foreigner doctor came in. I don't know where he was from and stuff. That don't really matter. I just know that he was a foreigner. He had a really bad accent, but I can still understand him. And he came in with a nurse, and he was like, ma'am, I looked at your chart, and I know what's wrong with you. I was like, I already had doctors earlier tell me what's wrong with me. He said, no, ma'am, I saw your pictures from your ultrasound. He said, you need to have surgery right now or you're going to die. So I started freaking out. I was like, haha. I said, that's not what the other people told me this morning. What do you mean I'm going to die if I don't have surgery right now? He said, you need surgery now, today, or you're going to die. I was like, no, no, no. I said, bring in the other doctors that I saw this morning, because they always tell you to get a second opinion. I was like, let me see the other doctors that was here this morning. I said, they didn't say nothing like that. So then another set of doctors came in at night. They always come in the morning, afternoon, at night. So when the other doctors came in at night, I told them what the foreigner guy had told me. I couldn't say his name. I'll tell you what hospital I was at in a minute. I told them what he had told me, and they were like, no, ma'am, you don't need surgery right now. And they were like, are you sure he was a doctor? They were even questioning their own doctors in their hospital. It wasn't a good hospital. I would not recommend going here. So when I described to the other doctors what this foreigner guy looked like, and I ain't gonna lie, y'all, he was hot. He was about the hottest damn thing I had ever seen in my life, even compared to actors on TV, everything. He was the hottest man I had ever seen in my life. And when I described what he looked like, the younger nurses were like, yeah, we know who you talking about. We know exactly who you talking about. I said, but anyway, he said, I'm going to die if I don't get surgery today. I said, but that's not what the morning doctors told me. And then now the nighttime doctors are also telling me I didn't need surgery right then and there. So I didn't know who to believe. I started freaking out. But after they kept giving me several bags of blood, they finally got me to stop bleeding. They made me an appointment to an OBGYN. I was like, okay, maybe I'll get more answers. Hello, Cindy. I said, maybe I'll get more answers once I go see an actual real OBGYN. Because these were just ER doctors, emergency room doctors. So whenever I went in, I met with like 4 or 5 different OBGYNs. They all had to come in. They all wanted to see me. They all did different treatments on me. Every treatment failed throughout the few months that I was in South Carolina. Every treatment failed. They still didn't know why. They couldn't get my bleeding to stop. Had to get another blood transfusion. Finally, that hospital pissed me off. I was like, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. And then I ended up moving here, and I've got a great doctor. Let me see. Hospital near Blythewood, South Carolina. It was called MUSC Health Columbia Medical is what it was called. MUSC. I always Googled everything. For my apartment, I always Googled closest OBGYN to me or closest hospital. But the ER that I was in was the MUSC Health Columbia Medical. No, it's not. No, it's not. Can you see that right there? I know the screen's mirrored and everything. Right there, there's more than one hospital throughout the world. Can you see it right there? Columbia, South Carolina. Do you not know that South Carolina is SC? Do you want to Google it? 120 Gateway Corporate Boulevard, Columbia, South Carolina. 29203. I know, but I'm just saying, it's not in Charlestown. You said Charlestown. It's Columbia, South Carolina. And I still got my chart with them too. I keep my chart just in case my doctors here need to see anything. Worst hospital I ever been to. My doctor here has been trying to get my medical records that I signed for for that hospital in South Carolina to release my medical records here. Been almost 2 years and she still ain't got not one record from them yet. Hey, Blue Eyes. But my doctor here, she's great. She's a wonderful doctor. I love her. No, this one, that's why I gave you the complete address. It's in Columbia, South Carolina. I lived in Blythewood. That was the road. And the little town that I lived in. That hospital was the closest. And I was only there for about 6 months. Let me see the job that I had. Toyota factory near Blythewood, South Carolina. J-Tech. I used to work at J-Tech. They're a sister company for Toyota. Not the one that I went to. Like I said, the one that I went to, they were more interested in meeting the girl that drove herself to the hospital when I was near death than actually getting me well. And then I had one set of doctors saying that my issue wasn't that bad. Then another doctor that said that if I didn't get surgery that day, I was going to die. And then another set of doctors that came in at night that was like, oh, well, no, he's wrong. Bitch, I got, not you calling you bitch, that's just the way I talk. But I got the hell out of that fucking hospital. Yeah, I know. The one that I went to, they got like a 2.5 rating. See, right here. Disturbing and unprofessional ER staff. Those were the ones that kept telling me, oh, well, you're going to die. Then the other ones, no, you're not going to die. Oh, you're just fine. Oh, no, bitch, get me out of here. Then I came here and I found a wonderful doctor. What time is it? 2 o'clock. I got to start dashing in 2 hours. And no, I'm not stupid, Tina. Like I said, I've got bills to pay. Ain't nobody going to pay my bills but me. I'm going to heal up. After I get my hysterectomy, I'm going to let myself heal up for a week. And then I'm going to go out and try to drive and see if I can do some DoorDash. Taking it easy. But if I feel any kind of pain at all or like something's wrong, then my ass is going to come back home. But yeah, I've got bills to pay. Yeah, my doctor told me no work for 6 weeks. But again, I got bills to pay. I can't lay up in the bed for 6 weeks. I need to take... I keep looking at my clock, y'all, because I take my different medications at different times. It's 2 o'clock. I got to take my other one. I mean, like I've told people before, you got to play the lottery to win. I've never played the lottery and I never will. But yeah, it would be nice if I could win the lottery. Or if I had a rich friend that could lend me the money where I could stay off work for 6 weeks and then me pay them back whenever I go back to work. But I don't know nobody like that. And ain't nobody sure in hell going to pay my bills for me while I'm out of work. So yeah, I'm not being rude. I'm just stating facts. I got bills to pay. So yes, my ass will get out there and I will work. Like I said, I'm not dumb. I'm not going to risk my life. If I feel any real bad pains or if I feel like something's wrong, then I'll go home. But if I can dash, I'm going to. Because I can't work at a regular job. Because my doctor won't release me to go back to a regular job for 6 weeks. You know, it's funny. I go into a lot of lives on TikTok sometimes if I'm in a lot of pain, if my stomach's hurting or something and I can't go to sleep. And I don't always talk. I just listen. Sometimes they're having a good conversation and I just listen. It's funny how I see a lot of people on TikTok that get on here and say that people scam on here. People try to get people to pay their bills on here. People try to beg for money. People are lazy. I go into lives and I hear people say that all the time. But here you got somebody who ain't fucking lazy. I don't ask people for money. I'm getting ready to have a major surgery and I'm still going to fucking go against my doctor and go out to work as soon as I feel like I can. But yet people have something to say about that too. Well, you shouldn't work or you're going to hurt yourself even more. Again, are you going to pay my fucking bills for me? I got bills to pay, so I got to go out to work. I think that's funny. People talk about people on this app talking about that they're lazy. They get on here and beg for money and shit. And you got somebody on here that I work my ass off even after I have my surgery. I'm still going to work because I got bills to pay. And then people want to say shit about that too. I think y'all troll just to troll. Y'all don't care if somebody's actually really a lazy person or if someone is a hard-ass fucking worker. Some of y'all trolls in here just got something you got to say about everybody. Hey, Grass. Sorry, y'all, but I keep kicking my tumbler here and knocking it over. I mean, and those of you in here that are saying that because you're actually just genuinely concerned about me, like, oh, you shouldn't work. You're not supposed to do that after a major surgery. That's okay. Trust me, I understand. Those of you in here that are actually concerned. But I know the risk. And like I said, I have bills to pay. I'm 50 years old. That's my choice if I want to go out and risk it and work to pay my bills. It's not like I'm a kid. I'm not underage. It's my choice. Which means if I hurt myself, that's my choice. Just like hospitals, unless they have changed their laws or their rules or whatever. I've never really been sick in my whole life until this happened. But I've had friends that were nurses. Like back when I was in my 20s, I've had friends that were nurses. Used to, no matter what was wrong with you. Didn't matter if you were dying. But my friends that were nurses used to tell me, now I don't know if this has changed, that as long as someone is coherent and can speak like I'm speaking to you, no matter what is wrong with them, they cannot force them to stay in the hospital. Even if they're told if you walk out that door, you're going to die sometime today. Person can walk out the door anytime they want to. I was told that that's the way hospitals were, that they can, as long as you're coherent and you can speak, they cannot force you to stay in a hospital. You can walk out that door anytime you want. Just like if I try to go to work a week after my surgery, if I think I feel okay, and I try it, like I said, I might get out there after 30 minutes or an hour and be like, oh, no, I can't do this, and then I go back home. But if I want to try it, that's my choice, my decision. That's right, Carol. I know pancake, but you know I call everybody by their name. And that's right, because like I said, ain't nobody going to pay my bills but me. And if I get kicked out of my apartment and lose my new car, because if they repo it, if I don't go to work and pay my bills, I sure in hell can't heal up from a major surgery sleeping out on a fucking street corner. So yeah, I got bills to pay. I will go back to work as soon as I think I can work. I tried to get my doctor to maybe let me go back to work before 6 weeks, because I did some research, and the kind of surgery I'm having with the new technology they have, the hysterectomy I'm having, they call it robotic. They said it's done by robots or something. I don't know, which is faster healing. It says that some women have gone back to work like 2 weeks after the surgery. And I did talk to my doctor about that, because all I do at my job is drive a forklift. That's it. I don't lift anything. I don't do nothing real physical. I just drive a forklift. She was like, absolutely not. She said, even though you're in a forklift, you do a lot of bouncing. She said, you cannot be in that forklift bouncing around. I was like, whatever. Oh, Mindy, you think I'm 27 years old? Thank you so much. You must be blind. Your eyes must be messed up or something, but thank you so much. Mindy, you need some glasses? You need to borrow some glasses? I got some right here. Because I know to some people, not everybody, but to some people, I don't look 50. But I sure in the hell ain't no 27 years old. You need to borrow my glasses? Yeah, that's what they call it, pancake. Hang on. It's called robotic same-day surgery. The only reason why I would have to stay overnight, she told me, is if something goes wrong. Yeah, but it says here it's a robotic surgery. Yeah, I'm not worried about it, pancake. Mindy, whatever fake picture you're using here, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to be mean. I'm going to be mean since you want to be mean. Whatever fake picture you're using, Mindy, maybe you might want to choose a different picture. Because you ugly as a motherfucker. Do you know the old word fugly? Us old Gen Xers in here, they'll know what I'm talking about. Because you fugly. Big ass fucking nose and buck teeth. You better pick a different picture there, you fugly ass motherfucker. There you go. I gave you your 5 seconds of fame there. Ooh, y'all. I must have hurted her feelings because she reported me. I was reading my message from TikTok. But my followers know on here also that if someone tries to report me and gets me banned, I've got 3 other accounts on TikTok that I can go live from. I can also go live on Facebook, and I'm also on Clapper. Clapper is a adult app only. You can't report people over there. You can't shut down people's lives on Clapper. I'm getting a surgery because 90% of my stomach is full of tumors. And because I hemorrhage and doctors can't get my bleeding to stop, no matter what they try. A lot of us got Clapper. I got Clapper, I just don't go on there very much. But yeah, a lot of my followers on here know that if somebody wants to report me on TikTok, you ain't hurting me none. I'll go over to Clapper because you can't report somebody's live over there. Hell, you can drink, smoke, do whatever you want over on Clapper. Well, some of them are fibroid tumors, Ginger. And then the others are just benign tumors. They're not cancerous. Well, I don't think they are. I've had 2 cancer tests that were negative, and I just had my 3rd and final cancer test last week. I'll get my results sometime. But the problem is that they're growing too big and they don't understand why. And they cause me to hemorrhage, and I have to keep getting blood transfusions. So yeah, I have to get surgery. I'm getting 2 in one day. One is going to be a full hysterectomy, and then that'll get rid of the fibroid tumors. And then the other surgery, they're going to cut out all the other tumors in my stomach. That's like around the walls of my stomach. And y'all, Pancake and God's Chosen, I swear to God, I cannot believe I remembered the name Fugly. I ain't heard that name since I was like in high school. But that just shit just come up off of my head. Remember back in high school when we used to say that shit all the time? Ginger, I just told you what my tumors were from. But I'm not angry, Ginger. If you come in here and you think that I look like I might be angry or something, I'm not angry. I just have a loud voice. I'm an old Southern girl from the country, and we talk loud. And I'm not angry. My regular people that's been watching me for a long time, they would know if I was angry. I'm one of those people, I'm an introvert. If I get angry, I don't say nothing. I just go completely silent, hit the button, and end my live. And until I'm done being angry and I collect my thoughts, even some of my bestest friends won't hear from me for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe longer. So yeah. I know some people in here are like, oh, she's angry. She's high-strung. No, I'm always high-strung. I was diagnosed as a kid as being very hyperactive. I'm not angry at all. This is just the way I talk. Yeah, that's why I said, Rhonda, I can't believe I remembered that word. That was the word we used to use all the time when I was a kid. God's Chosen, I don't care if someone reports this live and gets me banned for, usually it's 15 minutes. The longest it's been is a week. I've got 3 other accounts on here, all different names. I also have Facebook that I can go live on, and I'm also on Clapper. Clapper is an adult-only app. You have to do face recognition to even sign up on there. You cannot report anybody on Clapper. You cannot be banned. Only if someone gets naked on Clapper. That is their one policy. If you do any kind of like pornography stuff, naked, then they'll ban you. You can smoke on your lives there, because I've been in there. I've seen people. People smoke cigarettes in their lives. People drink beers, bottles of whiskey. I've even seen people smoke tree in their live and roll it up. I don't do that stuff, but yeah, I'm not stupid. I know what the hell a tree is, a tree cigarette. Nothing. They never get banned or anything. I also have an account over there, so if someone gets me banned over here, they're not hurting me none. I'll end my thing right here, switch right over to Clapper. Some of my followers already follow me over there. Yeah, it's a whole different book over there, Pancake. Now, I don't know, Pancake. I've never been on Clapper late at night. But I've heard stories. I do know they say that the policy over there is you cannot be banned, or nothing like that, that it's an adult-only app. But they do tell you that if you do any kind of pornography or you try to get, like, naked in there, that they will ban you, shut down your lives. But then I've also heard stories of people talking about a Clapper after dark. They say at night people do stuff like that. Now, I don't know. I've never been on there late at night. Yeah, she's asleep. She's up underneath her electric blanket. Hang on and I'll show you. You can see her head, but that's about it. She's up underneath her electric blanket with her head poked out. Yeah, I don't either, Pancake. I've never been on Clapper late at night. But that's what people call it. I've heard people calling it Clapper after dark. She's a Yorkie mix. I got pictures of her on my profile in her outfits. Some of them are AI generated outfits, and then some of them are her regular outfits. She's got a whole dresser full of outfits in there where I dress her up sometimes. See, there her is. There's her cord. She's got her heated blanket on. Got her little paws crossed. Ain't that right, baby? Mama, baby, peanut. Mama, baby, peanut. You got your little tongue hanging out. You got your little tongue hanging out. Yeah. You go night-night. You want Mama to leave you alone so you can go night-night. Oh, look at that little tongue. Look at that little tongue you got hanging out. Oh, you missed it earlier, God's Chosen, when I had a couple trolls in here. I was having fun. They were talking about, save Peanut. Get her out of that house. At first, they thought it might be one of my kids' nicknames because they didn't see Peanut. All they heard me say was just the name Peanut. They were like, what's a peanut? Who's a peanut? And then somebody in there was like, I don't know, probably one of her kids. And they were like, save Peanut. I started laughing. I thought it was too funny. It's 2:17. 4 a.m. I'll log into DoorDash. And then here's the picture of her that you like. God's Chosen, the one that I made of her for Christmas. That was like the little Christmas picture, like little Christmas card that I sent to all of my friends for Christmas. Yeah, I don't know what she's mixed with, Rhonda. I had one vet tell me they think that she's mixed with a corgi because of how large her ears are. And then I had another vet tell me that they think she's mixed with a wiener dog because of how long her body is. But yeah, I tell people all the time, you don't like my live, you don't have to come in here. Most of the time, I'll ignore trolls that come in here. But if I'm really bored and I've worked so much and I just need something to do, if a troll comes in here dishing out at me, I'll dish it right back out to them. I can get pretty nasty sometimes because I don't tolerate that bullshit. But then it's funny when I turn it around and give it right back to them, then they start reporting me. They get butthurt and they act like the victim. I thought you said you already screenshotted it. Well, I normally stay awake this time anyway because my regular job, I don't get off till 2:30 in the morning anyway. And then normally, after I get home, get a shower, get me something to eat, it's usually around 3:30, quarter to 4. And then I just stay up and I keep on dashing. I log in to do some DoorDash. Usually I'll do DoorDash from about 4 in the morning until about 9 or 9:30. Then I go to bed for about 4 hours. And then I get up and go back out to my regular job again. I don't know how to do that, God's Chosen. I mean, yeah, I can make these little, like, pictures of her on my phone and stuff. But I don't know how to, I don't have computers. I don't have printers and stuff to be able to print stuff and put it on a picture. I don't know how to do that. Grass, it depends. No, not really. People don't really tip that good. And I don't take a lot of orders because I do have a regular job. Just like when we had the blizzard here. It was my choice. Yes, I didn't have to. Nobody makes you take jobs when you're a dasher. You're an independent contractor. But I went out during the blizzard. And I mostly do it too because I know there's a lot of elderly people that can't get out and get stuff. So I'll do it like during blizzards and really bad storms and stuff. I'll get people that'll want me to go get either groceries or restaurant food for them, driving 20 miles. Now, you got to think, you got to drive 15 to 20 miles to them because I live in a very small town and they're wanting me to drive way out in the country. 15, 20 miles, that means it's another 15, 20 miles back to my area. So it's about anywhere from 30 to 40 miles. They want to give like $1 tip or a $2 tip. I'm not taking that shit in no blizzard. I'm like, you better go out and get your own damn shit because I ain't doing it. And then just like I told people, which is I already knew that, total with yesterday and today, I only made like $120. But that's because we just had Christmas. Everybody's broke. So there wasn't too many people ordering out. I do that. I always take pride in any job that I do, Grass. Policy, we're not supposed to go inside anyone's homes because, yes, some people that have done Instacart shopping, they've been killed going in people's houses. It's on the news. It's all over the internet. You can find it. There's been other people that do other gig jobs that have been attacked and killed. So we're not supposed to go in anyone's houses or nothing. I'm not like that. You hear horror stories of people that order DoorDash. They get their food stolen or not even delivered at all. Or I saw one lady's dash cam, like her door camera at her front door. Now, I'm not judging. I'm just saying what the girl looked like. The DoorDash girl. She looked like maybe she was a drug user. I'm just saying that's what she looked like. Maybe she was just a dirty person. Maybe she don't do drugs. But after the girl set the bag of food on her doorstep, I think it was an apartment building because it looked like a hallway, the girl reached down the front of her pants and started scratching her shit and digging it. So, yeah. But whenever I DoorDash, like today, I did a grocery order. I pull up to this house. It's an elderly lady. She comes to the door. And she was like, can you please set those inside my house for me? A lot of heavy groceries. I said, sure, no problem. I said, I'll set them. But it was slushy outside, nasty, muddy, because of all the snow and stuff that we've had. She looked like she had white carpet. I was like, ma'am, I said, I'm not going to step on your carpet with my dirty, muddy shoes. I said, can I just set your groceries right inside the front of your door or over on the side, the corner of your living room? She was like, yeah. She's like, you can do that. And I was like, okay. I said, I don't want to step on your floor. Now, if she really wanted me to walk on her floor, I would have taken my shoes off and took them in there. Another elderly lady I delivered to. This was what made me decide to start going into houses at my own discretion. It was during COVID. I pull up to this house. Somebody had ordered like a bunch of groceries, but they also had ordered like 4 cases of water. And a note said, leave at the door because they wanted contactless delivery. It must have been the person's child that ordered the groceries for them and had it delivered. Because I'm sitting in my car because I always at least make sure the person comes to the door and they get their groceries. Because people do report, they try to get free food and they try to say, oh, my groceries was never delivered. So I always sit in my car and at least I see the person. Well, I see a wheelchair, the front of a wheelchair, come to the door. And I'm sitting there watching this older lady. I'm like, okay, somebody's got to live there with her. Somebody else is going to come and get the groceries off the porch for her. I see this elderly lady take like her legs, wrap them around one of the cases of water and tries to pull the water into her front door with her feet. I said, I said, I'm not going to tolerate that. I don't care what DoorDash's policy is. So I walk up to the lady's stairs. And I said, ma'am, I said, if you don't mind, I said, I know you wanted a contactless delivery because it was COVID. I said, I got gloves and medical mask inside my car. I said, I can go put all that stuff on and I'll bring your groceries into your house for you. She's like, I didn't ask for contactless delivery. She said, yes, I'd appreciate it. Can you please bring my groceries into the house for me? I went out to my car, put my gloves and my mask on, carried the groceries into the house for her. I didn't care if somebody found out. I mean, who was going to find out? And reported me to DoorDash. I was not going to sit there and watch that older lady try to scoot some damn cases of water in while she's sitting in a wheelchair with her feet. Nah, so I took the groceries into her. And I still do stuff like that to this day. I'll get other people in my town that dashes. And whenever they may be out or something. Because sometimes I've delivered to one house and right across the street there will be another dasher delivering something.